Let's take a moment and enter our quiet space and sacred space of prayer. Grandfather, grandmother, ancestors, elders, sacred Mother Earth, your people have come. Your people have gathered. We enter a place now of sacred ceremony, sacred intimacy with one another, sharing our cares, our concerns, our needs, our burdens, even in the most vulnerable way. We're calling upon you now to hear these, the prayers of your people. I ask that you sit with us in this circle today, for there is room for you here. I ask that you be near to us today in a manner in which we can feel and sense your presence, hear your voice, and feel your touch. In a world that seems to be more lost, confused, and chaotic now than ever before, I ask that you help keep us grounded and centered. I ask that you keep us in a place of serenity, of peace, and calm over the chaos. I ask that you help us stay connected with you and give us courage in this walk and in our way. And give us strength to stay on the good road, Creator's good red road. And at all times and in all things, we stand with much gratitude. Hear us now. Aho. Before we get into our ceremony and time together for our new relatives here, I just wanted to go around the circle and introduce everyone to you. This is John, and his wife Maria is over on the camera. And John and Maria are our logistics people. They come and set all of this up for you and for me every Sunday morning. Very faithful in that. We're very appreciative. And this is Susan, and this is Mark.
Don't forget about our list.
Huh? Oh, it is. I just throw something at me. And this is Melody. This is Julia. This is Kapua. This is Damaris. This is Gabriel. And this is Tom. And this is me. So Kapua, can you open us up with some sounds over there and call in the directions or whatever Spirit may lay on your heart to do?
Let me swallow my cough drop before I put it into this. And which way is east? Okay. I'm going to blow for the 4 directions.
You okay?
I'm actually not fine.
I'm sorry.
I'm okay. I can't sit. I'm not feeling. I have low blood pressure.
Okay,
Low
so it's
blood
physical.
pressure. It's physical.
Okay, well, I'll check on you later. Oh, thank you, brother. Not very long ago, I was engaged in counsel with a friend who was experiencing, as seems to be many of us are at the moment, rare and challenging, difficult health issues. I don't find it at all ironic that you brought that thought to our attention just a few moments ago. But researching their symptoms, they self-diagnosed themselves with a very, very rare illness. The statistical percentage of that diagnosis and condition historically is remarkably low. Only 2% of the population are ever diagnosed with this particular condition, which for purposes of this talk, with respect for and confidentiality, I will not reference the condition. It's not important. Only 2%. And yet, my friend seemed already to display a certain confidence that suggested, knowing my luck, knowing my experience, I'm already there. One of the 2%. Only 2%. While I assured my friend that my prayer blanket covered them, my thoughts about this encounter have troubled me a little bit over the weeks. I wanted to, and I will continue, the desire to speak more about this with my friend, and will, no doubt, as soon as my own thoughts become a little clearer and the opportunity presents itself as well. Suffice it to say, when the time and circumstances are right, and the moment presents itself in an appropriate manner, I will continue that dialogue with what I pray will be words of wisdom and wise counsel, words that I offer to you today. My initial response to the conversation: don't borrow trouble. Don't borrow trouble. And that's one of the lessons that's hidden in this talk. Don't make up a story not yet based upon empirical facts and mere speculation only. Don't make up a story not yet based upon empirical facts and based upon speculation only. Plenty of time for that, if necessary, once a diagnosis in the situation is confirmed. But when you think about it, that does seem to be the way of the mind, doesn't it? I do it too. I misplace something and immediately begin to anticipate the worst. I've lost it. It's gone. Something is not working the way it should, and I immediately go into an elaborate scheme planning my repair or my replacement when I realized the thing wasn't even turned on. Or in our modern technology world, charged up. I lose something and I go into a bit of a panic, fantasizing over what to do next, when I often find my glasses sitting right on the top of my head. I've wrestled with myself many times asking, why do you do that? Why do you immediately go to those places and fill them with worry and anxiety? That especially so when the solution or the answer, the apparent mystery and answers are standing right there in front of me. Perhaps that's just human nature. I don't know. Part of the DNA of the human family that we do this. And I'm quite confident, as I see by the smiles and the nods of the head in the circle, I'm not alone with that. And many of us have experienced that fight or flight response to adversity. And if honest, we would admit that this is a fairly common reaction amongst us all. We forget to breathe. We forget to breathe. Yet another lesson in today's teaching. Is there a discipline, a practice that we can engage to reverse this knee-jerk reaction? Is there a practice in which we can engage to help us stay centered and focused and resisting falling into the self-imposed realm of the 2%? I think so. And I offer this up today for our consideration and subsequent growth as regards our own unique, though similar, spiritual journeys. Now, presently, if you think about the medicine wheel, we are experiencing movement, moving us from the light to the darker days of fall and into a season of harvest and store for the long days of winter. But remember, and in your imagination for a moment, return to the spring garden. Seed, soil, nutrients, preparation, planting, and protecting this year's garden. Many of you have gardens. And soon, for a season, our gardens will be sleeping. My brother's garden, I was there yesterday, is already on the tail end of production. But thinking back, thinking to spring, it is a time to start the process of next year's garden. Where do you begin? The first and perhaps most important step in putting in a garden is soil preparation. Your garden's harvest is abundant only to the point and the extent of preparation. Bad soil, poor harvest. Weak soil, Wheat nutrition. Every gardener and every farmer knows that, right, Gabe? Proper soil preparation is essential for good results. We bring out the hoes and the tillers and the plows and turn the soil, often mixing in amendments to improve and enhance the earth's ability to provide us with an abundant harvest. We simply cannot walk out into a field and just randomly toss seeds here and there and expect to feed ourselves and our family over the winter. No. We turn the earth to secure a fresh start, a new beginning. New seed on old soil seldom secures the desired and anticipated results of harvest time. Next, seed. Old seed on new ground likewise seldom secures the desired and anticipated results come harvest time. Our harvest is as good only to the extent of the effort and the science, the purity of seed and soil. Seed and soil. And together, there forms a magical synergy that produces the new. In the Muskogee way, our women in the spring have special ceremony sorting seeds. And they meticulously sort and pick through the baskets of seeds, setting aside those that are weak or damaged, and keeping only the best select seeds for the new garden. Our ancestors knew well the importance and vitality of good seed and thrived accordingly. Our soil prepared, seeds sorted, then we plant. And as the rain comes, the water finds its way to the heart of the seed and life begins. A life unique to the seeds, sorted and planted well into the womb of new soil. And then the weeds come. And this requires maintenance. No matter the strengths of the soil, the quality of the seed, if left unattended, weeds will grow and choke out the whole field, compromising the harvest to minimal, if anything at all. Weeds, you see, that's the 2% part. And for within the scope of this talk, it is the weeds that seem to trip us up the most. Think, if you will, of your heart, of your soul, of your mind as this metaphorical garden about which we speak. Your mind is relational to soil in this analogy. Your heart, your thoughts are the seed. Your soul is the nourishment and life and water. Ne wichoni, as the Lakota say, water is life. The mind is a fertile and innocent container, a blank slate, if you will. When filled with seed, good or bad, 2% or 98%, and then nurtured by the water of your soul and spirit, will, without doubt, fill that equation with equal and corresponding results. Good soil, good seed, good water, good harvest. Poor, cluttered soil, weak and compromised seed, contaminated or lack of water, 2% harvest. As it is with an actual garden, so it is with the garden growing within you. All notable and spiritual teachers, our own ancestors and elders, understood and understand the vitality of this synergy. Many of our teachers along the way have spoken and have spoken often of the importance of the guarding of our minds and our hearts and our soul. The poet who penned Proverbs admonishes, above all, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And even the Apostle Paul admonished his readers, guard your minds and stand firm in your faith. And as it is with the actual spring garden preparation, it is likewise and metaphorically important as regards the garden of us, the elements of earth, life, and spirit. Now, I will encourage my friend in this, in their journey, for this garden is a powerful energy and entity. We must work diligently and daily to keep the terra of our mind fresh and pure. We must constantly turn the earth of us, of our mind, to assure its receptivity in a good way. We must be diligent in our seed sorting, our thoughts, planting only the best and healthiest thought seeds possible for the best possible results and outcome. We must frequently feed the seed and soil with the living water of spirit, for this alone is pure and just. We most assuredly must be fastidious in keeping the weeds out. And weeds are thoughts that do not serve us well, nor benefit the harvest we really desire. Not to be critical or disrespectful of my friend, by any means the weeds grow in the 2%. As a great teacher taught, or perhaps warned, as you sow, so shall you reap. The elements of mind, heart, body, and spirit are powerful and efficacious. If the mind is clear and fresh, if our thought seeds are pure, if we are connected to the stream of spirit, our preparations for today and tomorrow, beyond as a whole, is a daily discipline and persistent practice of maintenance, keeping the weeds checked and at bay, and that assures a much more abundant harvest of good. Mind, body, and spirit can accept the narrative of the 2%, or we can shift it on a dime and excel and exceed in greatness. Oh, consider the infinite possibilities. And finally, we must protect our gardens, physically and metaphorically as well. Fences, borders, and gates. If we neglect this, our gardens are susceptible and vulnerable to the processes of the natural world. It's a simple fact. Animals eat plants. And the rabbit and the deer people can consume an entire garden before sunrise the next morning. Insects can destroy them in slow motion time lapse. And there is no difference in this regard to the mental gardens that we plant for ourselves. We can spend a lifetime preparing and amending our mental ground. We can till, we can plow, we can turn the ground of our mind with perfection. We can invest years into gathering and sorting and planting only the healthiest seeds. We can pluck and keep the weeds away with daily precision, but if we neglect the investment into protections for and over our lives, our own mental gardens, we risk losing it all in the blink of an eye. If we forget the boundaries, if we fail with fences, if we leave the gate open and unlocked, we leave ourselves vulnerable and susceptible to attack, death, and destruction. I don't always and rarely do I read from or use the Bible in my talks. Today is an exception, one not to be misconstrued with advocating for one religion over another. It's just good teaching and good medicine. The small man, who our people call the Apostle Paul, in his letter to the church at Ephesus, wrote these words of encouragement to his listeners. And this has to do with how we can address the issue of keeping ourselves safe, protected, and secure. He said, last of all, I must remind you that we are all fighting in a spiritual battle. We are weak human beings. So let your strength come from our great warrior chief. The only way to stand strong against the war plans of the evil trickster is to put on Creator's war garments. But remember, we are not fighting against human beings. Our battle is against the evil rulers and the dark powers and the spiritual forces of the spirit world above and around us. Now, once you are fully dressed for this war, you will be able to stand your ground in this day of the enemy's evil rule. You are now ready to make your stand, so stand strong. Wrap the sash of truth around your waist. Cover your heart with the breastplate of making wrongs right again. Put on your feet the moccasins of Creator's peace treaty, so you will always be ready to tell the good story as you walk the road of life. Then you must raise high the shield of trusting in Creator. This shield will put out the flaming arrows of the evil one. And do not forget, put on the headdress of Creator's power to rescue and set free. And use the long knife of the Spirit, which is the word of Creator coming from your mouth. All of this is done by prayer, sending your voice to the Great Spirit, asking Him for all that is needed. That's from Ephesians chapter 6, verses 8 verses 10 through 18, and it's from the First Nations version of the New Testament. If Bible stuff interests you, I highly recommend this, because it takes what we've heard and grown up perhaps with in Sunday school and church most of our lives, and puts it in a language that is relative and speaks to the heart and the soul of the Native American people. And also, it's just been released, the First Nations version of Psalms and Proverbs. I just got my copy of this week, and I think Liz has got one coming as well. So today, we choose our participation in our destiny. We choose life in the low 2% or a life of excellence in the 98th percentile. We have the tools. We have the resources. We have the knowledge. And we have the teachings. We have the wisdom to make good, wise, and healthy decisions for ourselves. So know this. Once you know what you know, you can no longer go on behaving or pretending as if you do not. So tend carefully to the mental gardens of your lives, and I believe your life will be filled with a harvest of abundance. And at the end of the day, that is Creator's desire for us all. We come now to our prayer time at the altar. All of the sacraments that we use are here, ready and available. For the benefit of those that are with us and new today, our altar is open to anyone who comes in a good way with a desire to make a good prayer for themselves and for the people. We have the essence of floral water, which we use to cleanse our fingers, our lips, our minds, and the fragrance of that floral water just grounds us and connects us with the sacred Mother Earth as well. We use also, if the process, if you will, of our altar goes from cleansing to letting go of those things that no longer serve us, discarding in this talk today the old seeds, and we sprinkle that as we speak that into the tobacco, onto the charcoal, and watch the white smoke of surrender make its way to the heart and the ears of Creator. And then with hope, we make a new prayer for ourselves. We do so by taking a pinch of the tobacco and breathing and speaking our prayer into the tobacco. Tobacco is looked at as a medium between us and the Creator. And we make prayer ties simply by taking a piece of the cloth, a pinch of the tobacco, and in a very deliberate and intentional way, praying over, praying for ourselves, praying for the help that we need, praying for our community, and then we bind them together with the cloth and that's a prayer time. We have sage, sweetgrass, and cedar, all of which are sacraments, including the tobacco, that we use in our ceremonies. Our work and our ministry, the things that we do, is all 100% donation-based. So if you're able to, please support our work. If you have a desire to come to the altar, you're certainly welcome and encouraged. And any one of our relatives, our family will be happy to assist you in any way you may need at the altar. So let's come now and spend this time in a good prayer.